I'm Nancy's second cousin. We're related through our mothers. Nancy's mom, Mary Alice, who we knew as Raggy, and my mother, Phyllis, fondly known as Fee. I have only fleeting memories of Nancy in childhood, since she and my Aunt Raggy lived in San Miguel de Allende at that time. They seldom visited California during our early childhood, but I have clear recollections of riding through Pasadena with Nancy and her mom in their mud-spattered car with Mexico plates, ranchera music from the car radio blasting the sedate streets of Pasadena. I remember playing lively games of croquet on her granny's front lawn with my sisters, Leslie and Becky, and my cousins, Eric and Shelley. Nancy and I shared a love for the wee folk. We used to walk around her granny's garden into her little bamboo forest looking for the fairies. Those were happy times. But at the age of 12, Nancy's mother died while they were visiting Granny in Pasadena. Nancy was devastated. It was so incredibly sad to see her grief. She was literally wasting away. There was always light in my cousin, though. That could not be extinguished. She recovered and was adopted by her granny. It was clear by the time that she entered Pasadena High School that she had regained her spunkiness. When she worked diligently with her like-minded friends to buck the system and publish a resistance underground newspaper. Gladys, the dowager principal of PHS, tried but failed in vain to quell Nancy's revolutionary spirit. Having lost her mother and her father at a young age, Nancy cherished family, her own biological family, and the family of friends that she gathered under her wing in Whale Gulch. Later in her life, she began to piece together the family history on our mother's side, the Irish side of the family. We got back in contact a bit before that time, visiting one another, attending the Women's Herbal Symposium. Nancy had quite a funny bone. One day we had KP duty and we were in the kitchen, and our task was to chop onions. And so we're doing everything we can not to be just crying buckets. We put dish towels in our mouths, and people would come in and look at us. And Nancy just laughed and laughed. We brought our families together. Our sons got to meet her. At some point, Nancy and I started to gather information about our families, and Nancy took on the task of unraveling the family history, beginning with our great-grandmother, Catherine Ryan, who arrived in New York City from Cappamore, Ireland in 1855 as an immigrant. Nancy was dogged in her research, contacting priests, sometimes tweaking them, in Ireland for parish birth and death records when they wouldn't get back to her right away, searching through ship manifests, genealogical records in many libraries, and writing numerous letters to Ireland and Australia in search of her family. Bear in mind, this was long before all of the genealogical software and programs that exist today. Nancy made a visit to Ireland very early in her research, but was unable to find many of the contacts that she had hoped for, and a lot of the information she knew was there. We kept in close contact as her research progressed, and at some point hatched a plan to travel together to Ireland to meet the relatives that Nancy had located. By this time, Nancy had amassed a great deal of information about the Ryan family in and around Limerick. To our great good fortune, she had begun to correspond with a distant cousin, Donald Ryan, who lives in Lisnagry, just outside of Limerick. When we arrived in Ireland, Donald, his wife, Helen, and their sons, Connor and Kieran, graciously opened their hearts and their home to us. And they introduced us to many of the family in Lisnagry. Our travels took us on an amazing journey of remembrance. I, the driver, Nancy, the navigator, because I unfortunately said to her early on, oh, I'm a terrible navigator, and she got this little twinkle in her eye. Oh boy, she's going to be the driver in this place. We were able to visit Cappamore, where great-great-grandmother Catherine had been born and raised. We did research in the Dublin archives where we discovered some of the life of our great-great-grandfather, John Ganane. And then we went to Cork, which was incredibly moving, where Catherine and John had set sail for America in 1855. A highlight, though, of our trip was a visit to the Guinness Brewery in Dublin, which, according to Nancy's research, was originally owned by our distant relative, Mark Rainsford. A few years later, our genealogical travels also took Nancy and me to Silverton, Colorado, where our great-great-grandfather, John Ganane, lived for a number of years, working as a miner. On each step of our journeys together, I was ever amazed at Nancy's dedication to unraveling the mysteries of our family history. Her work now is being continued by our wonderful Australian cousin, Stephen Ryan. Over time, I came to think of Nancy as a Celtic spirit. I've read that the ancient Celts held the belief they were descended from trees. Trees were considered gatekeepers to the Celtic otherworld and represented the afterlife. It is truly fitting that Nancy's heritage is linked to Ireland, that she had such a close bond with her heritage and with the trees and the creatures that she protected in the Sinkyone wilderness. They surrounded and inspired her for most of her life. Nancy was deeply rooted in the earth, her family, her friends, her Whale Gulch community, and the forested land that she so loved. When Nancy left her mortal life behind, I imagined her passage in this way. Free to fly. Deep in the meadow at break of dawn, softly she moves, drawn to goldfinch song. Now herself taking wing, she too will sing. Peregrine soul soaring at hawk's side. Below her precious life, her dear daughters of womb born, her family of friendship fashioned. With joy, mortal bindings unleashed, her gypsy spirit intact, her beautiful soul set free to fly. Oh.
Thank you very much, Gretchen. Thank you. All right, we will be having a musical performance. We need Eva, Stephanie, and Jesse to come forward. Jessica shared many important moments with Nancy over the final years of her life. One such moment was the sharing of her 5 wishes for her memorial service. And two of the songs that she identified as wanting to be played are going to be performed now by Eva, Stephanie, and Jesse.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
He was just perfect for this. Give it to the organized guy who lines his clothes up perfectly. I've seen his house. I'm like,
Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say once you're gone forever, and some say you're gonna come back. Some say you rest in the arms of the Savior if in sinful ways you lack. Some say that they're coming back in a garden, bunch of carrots and little sweet peas. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all come from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Some say they're going to a place called glory, and I ain't saying it ain't a fact. But I've heard that I'm on the road to purgatory, and I don't like the sound of that. I believe in love, and I live my life accordingly. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Everybody is wondering what and where they all came from. Everybody is worried about where they're gonna go when the whole thing's done. No one knows for certain, so it's all the same to me. Think I'll just let the mystery be. Think I'll just let the mystery be.
have you heard that song before? Yeah? Have you heard that song before? Yes.
If you guys know this, you can sing along on the chorus or wherever you know it.
Nancy wanted you to sing along with it, actually.
Yes. So there you go, though. Yes.
You have to give me.
You'll see. Will we know? Oh, the Sheila song?
Will we know, will we know, will we know each other? Will we know each other when we meet again? Will we know, will we know, will we know each other? Will we know each other when we meet again? On that chilly winter morning, when you went back to the earth, your crying friends were all gathered around, and I wonder who'll be there at your next birth. Will we know, will we know, will we know each other? Will we know each other when we meet again? Will we know, will we know, will we know each other? Will we know each other when we meet again? Thought there'd always be a tomorrow, for the words I never when we meet again. The river current moves me. The stars are cold and bright. I wonder what form our world will be in when we get another chance to do what's right. Will we know, will we know, will we know each other? Will we know each other when we meet again? Will we know, will we know, will we know each other? Will we know each other when we meet again? Yes, cycles will be completed, and we'll finish what we once did start. But still there's an empty, torn off feeling, and my throat closes up from my swelling heart. Will we know, will we know, will we know each other? Will we know each other when we meet again? Will we know, will we know, will we know each other? Will we know each other when we meet again?
I swear. Jessie Notick hasn't changed since I was a kid. Right? I mean, I've gotten older. She just looks exactly the same. Okay, now is the tearjerker for your tissues. I've been crying this whole time. You haven't had enough. Oh, I'm nervous. I read all the memories at your house.
We will now have our bell ceremony and last call.
I will. Good. Thank you. So my scar from her fixing it in the kitchen. And then we all followed Anna into the swamp, just like we always do. Forgot about that. Step on a piece of glass.
The men and women of today's fire service are confronted with more dangerous work environment than ever before. We're forced to continually change our strategies and tactics to accomplish our tasks. Our methods may change, but our goals remain the same as they were in the past: to save lives and to protect property, sometimes at a terrible cost. This is what we do. This is our chosen profession. This is the tradition of the firefighter. The fire service of today is ever changing, but it's steeped in traditions 200 years old. One such tradition is the sound of the bell. In the past, as firefighters begin their tour of duty, it was the bell that signaled the beginning of today's shift. Throughout the day and night, each alarm was sounded by a bell which summoned those brave souls to fight fires and to place their lives in jeopardy for the good of their fellow citizen. And when the fire was out and the alarm had come to an end, it was the bell that signaled to all the completion of that call. When a firefighter had died in the line of duty, paying the supreme sacrifice, it was the mournful toll of the bell that solemnly announced a comrade's passing. We utilize these traditions as symbols to reflect honor and respect on those who have given so much and served so well. To symbolize the devotion that these brave souls had for their duty, a special signal of 3 rings, 3 times each, represents the end of our comrades' duties, and that they will be returning to quarters. And now, Chief Nancy has completed her tasks, her duties well done. She has given her best. For our fallen sister, her last alarm, she has gone home.
All uniformed personnel, please rise. Present on.
Chief 5900, Fortuna. Chief 5900, Fortuna. Attention all units and stations. It is with deep regret that we announce the passing of Chief 5900 Nancy Farragon of the Whale Gulch Fire Department. Roll call has been taken, and Chief 5900 Nancy Farragon has failed to answer. The bell has been struck for her last alarm. May the sun shine upon her path. May the wind always be at her back. Her presence will be forever remembered. Thank you for your service. Fortuna Claire.
Order. On. You may all be seated.
She's having a great time. Don't you think?
I do. And there's more to come. Now we got a lot more.
It's great on the local faces.
I know.
This one held a grim look.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most of them were grown up.
Yeah. Nancy taught most of them.
I was talking to Dan Snodgrass. This is great.
There are so many of you in here from different chapters of Nancy's life who have known her for many, many years. Some maybe who just had the pleasure of meeting Nancy recently. I wanted to see if you've known Nancy for 5 years or less, please stand if you are able.
Nobody. Nobody.
Wonderful. If you've known Nancy for 10 years or less, please stand. If you've known Nancy for 20 years or less, please stand.
I think I was 2.
If you've known Nancy for 25 years or less, please stand. If you've known Nancy for 30 years or less, please stand.
You're just a little potato.
Yeah, please remain standing. 35 years. 40 years. 45 years. 50 years.
Yes.
60 years.
More than 50.
Stay up.
Oh,
Ollie goes way back, evidently. 60. Is there anybody with more than 60? 65. Wonderful, wonderful. Any more than 65? Yes, 70 years. 70. I feel like I need to have Pete up here with the Alaman call. 75. 80 years. 80? 85? All right. I think we have everybody standing. There is amazing, amazing years and years of relationship and love in this room with Nancy. That's what this is all about, the celebration of that. We want to conclude this ceremony with a beautiful circling of her community. And we need your help. You are here with us. Those of you who are on the Zoom, you will be able to see this as well. And please, in your mind, join our circle. For those of you who are standing here next to your chairs, if you will just start to push your chairs to the left and to the right, to the sides of the room. Please push.
Oh, yeah. I better drink that.
drink that drink.
If the
I'll get
RTF
this.
crew would
I'll get
please
this.
come back and receive the chairs, but if you would push your chairs to the left
Uh-oh,
and to the
watch out.
right, to the sides
There
of the
might be
room.